Empathy is often described as the ability to see things from another person's perspective. But it's more than that. Empathy is an emotional skill that allows us to understand and share the feelings of others. It's about putting ourselves in their shoes and feeling what they feel. Empathy is important for building strong relationships. It allows us to connect with others on a deeper level and to create a sense of trust and rapport. When we are empathetic, we are more likely to be helpful and supportive. We are also more likely to be forgiven for our mistakes. How to hone in on your empathy. Empathy is more of an art than a science. There are many factors that can influence your ability to accurately perceive the emotions of others. First, consider your own emotional awareness. Do you understand your own feelings and the reasons behind them? If you struggle with self-awareness, you may have difficulty recognizing the emotions of others. Empathy is primarily an emotional skill, so your own emotional understanding is essential for identifying emotions in others. If you are emotionally aware, you might be fairly accurate at deciphering the emotions of other people. However, even with high emotional awareness, people may disagree with your perceptions. Many factors can interfere with your empathic accuracy. Are you emphasizing or are you projecting? Here are 5 things to consider from the book, The Art of Empathy, a complete guide to life's most essential skill. Number 1, you might be correct, but perhaps you expressed yourself in a way that made the person feel exposed and vulnerable. This could be due to reasons that have nothing to do with you. Number 2, you might be attributing your own emotions to the person who may not be experiencing the same feelings. Number 3, you might be projecting your emotions onto the other person. However, it's still possible that they're feeling the same way. Number 4, you could feel the intensity of your own emotions and mistakenly believe that the other person feels them the same way. Your personal experiences and biases can influence your perception of their emotions. Number 5, you could be recalling emotional behaviors from your own family or your childhood. You could be projecting those emotions onto this situation. In these situations, your own difficulties with communication or emotional skills may be hindering your ability to empathize clearly. Fortunately, empathy is a skill that can be developed at any age. Empathy, sympathy, and compassion. Empathy, sympathy, and compassion are often used interchangeably, but they are distinct concepts. Sympathy is a feeling of concern for someone else. It involves a desire for their happiness or well-being. Empathy goes beyond sympathy. It involves sharing the other person's emotions and understanding their perspective. Compassion builds upon empathy. It includes an empathic understanding of another person's feelings, coupled with a desire to act altruistically on their behalf. The downside of empathy. Empathy is a valuable trait. However, constantly prioritizing the perspectives of others can have negative consequences. When empathy becomes the dominant mode of relating, an individual may neglect their own needs and become susceptible to exploitation by others. Can narcissists show empathy? People with high levels of narcissism, or those diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, can demonstrate empathy and even compassion. However, this capacity has limitations. Ultimately, their own needs and desires take precedence. Some researchers suggest that narcissists may cultivate greater empathy by developing greater self-compassion. This increased self-compassion can enhance their feelings of security and self-worth. As a result, they may become more receptive to the experiences and perspectives of others. Can people run out of empathy? People whose professions, such as first responders, humanitarian aid workers, doctors, therapists, and journalists, often possess high levels of empathy. However, this deep emotional connection can also have a negative impact. These individuals may experience a buildup of emotional residue, the shared heartbreak of those they assist or whose stories they document. This accumulation of emotional distress can lead to burnout, characterized by emotional exhaustion and a decreased capacity for empathy. As a result, these people may become less willing or able to offer support to others. How do I know whether I'm a highly empathic person? Empaths are often characterized as being highly sensitive and overly focused on the needs of others. They may benefit from time alone, as they find it draining to be in the presence of other people. People who are very empathic are also more likely to be targeted by other manipulative people. For this reason, it is important to create healthy boundaries in all relationships and to be cognizant of relationships with energy vampires who are draining to empaths and non-empaths alike.